Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to, he is a Bellator vet, he's an RFA veteran, and he is a UFC veteran, and even the current and longest reigning defending Lights Out Xtreme Fighting Bantamweight champion. He, live from Blackouts, he's the one and only, the Belizean warrior, Albert Morales. What's going on, Albert?
Nothing much, man. Hey, see, I need you to intro me, man. You know, if they ever get rid of, I want Bruce Buffer to announce me again. You know, I think I want him to announce me for my title fight, but for my title defenses, dude. You know what I mean? When he retires, we gotta throw you in there, dog.
You got to get plugged in somewhere. So, I thank you, and I take that as a compliment in the highest degree because, you have had, the Bruce Buffer introductions. You've had the post fights with Rogan. So, you
were there
shit.
for that, dude.
Yes, I was. Yes,
you were there for that.
09 back in Vegas. Holy shit.
That was the only time I got interviewed by Rogan, by the way.
But even still, that's kind of like the thing. Most people want to say like clout or whatever, but like people are forgoing the $50,000 bonus, is structure in the UFC to get a spot with Rogan on his podcast because it's a lot more valuable in some respects.
I don't know why. I don't really care too much about to be on this podcast anymore. I did at one time. I would definitely want a post fight. But Bruce Buffer, because when I was in the UFC, after my first fight, I got a draw, and honestly, I thought I lost. A lot of people thought I won, but I didn't think I won, because it was the first time where I got cuts, and it wasn't like a clear cut win for me, and and coming into the UFC, I was like, yo, I'm the greatest. I'm about to go over there. Conor McGregor, I had the Conor McGregor syndrome where I was like, oh yeah, I'm Money Morales, and I'm all kind of dumb. Like I was kind of dumb. It's funny. As soon as I got to the UFC, I thought I made it, And so, anyways, I had that fight, and so I was kind of sad. And I was at the airport, and I was gonna go to Starbucks and grab a coffee right before the flight. And as I was in line, I see Bruce Buffer, he's behind me. And we were close enough. So we're when I got to the front of the line, he could see me and talk to me. And that's what happened, right? We locked eyes and I was like, hey, he's like, Morales, I like your fights. I like your fighting style. You know what I mean? I like how you fight. And he's like, yeah, see you around. And I was like, dude, he remembered my last name. He remembered me. He remembered my name. And it's crazy because that's Bruce Buffer, dude. Imagine how many names he knows.
Yeah, between him and Michael, there's two, in terms of fight announcing families, right? You've got the Lennons, Jimmy Lennon Sr. and Jr. respectively, and Michael and Bruce Buffer, who, didn't even grow up together, right? Had the same father, I believe, but didn't
really?
Even grow, yeah, they didn't grow up together, but Bruce was, he grew up in Malibu, right? So, and essentially what happened was he one night was watching boxing. He already had done, much like Rogan, Taekwondo, and been involved with martial arts, traditional martial arts to a large extent, right? And he was just he tuned into I want to say it was one of the Grand Olympic Auditorium fights, boxing fights, and he saw Michael Buffer, right? And he was just wait, he kind of looks like me, kind of has the same name.
No way.
Yeah, no. And apparently Michael was given up for adoption, and that was it because I guess Papa Buffer. It was Papa Buffer was I don't know the deal with him. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to say on record, but yeah, there's something happened. But it's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Who this?
What's up, Adam?
Luke, what's up, brother? How are you? Long time no see.
Big Dog Mello in the house.
Yeah, man. Gotta love them run-ins.
You did? Okay.
Oh, true.
But
My bad,
dude,
guys. Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea about that stuff.
yeah, that's where, and it's weird because I kind of had the conversation with somebody the other day where like people were like, you can just call up stuff and whatever, but like I I think by not being a fighter or not being a pro wrestler, like I can like remember stuff because I don't have that. Like I can't punch like
You don't
you
get
guys.
punched in the head. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's that, but I mean, I kind of figured out a way to not do any of that, but also be a part of this combat
No,
sports
it's
community.
badass, dude. And like, that's something like I think about when it comes to other sports like football and stuff like that. Because there's like how many kids like to play football? How many kids like to play basketball? How many kids? There's so many, right? And it's like not all of them can make it to the NBA. It's very hard, especially in the NBA. So it's like you can't give up there just because you can't make it to the NBA. You still love the sport, so there's a lot of things that you can contribute to it. You know what I mean? So definitely, like, I mean, for MMA as well. But I mean, like, I feel like if you want to fight, I think you should fight at least once. If you've ever had that itch, for sure.
Yeah.
It's better than fighting in the streets.
Well, yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true. But I also have eczema, so I mean, if I have an itch, I'll just scratch it. There you
Dude,
go.
if there you go. If you ever need someone to get beat up, you let me know. I'll beat them up for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean,
Come on.
again,
Come on,
literally
yeah.
the longest reigning bantamweight champion to kind of.
I'm the only
do your bidding.
bantamweight champion. There,
You,
know what I mean?
the only. I mean,
Huh?
that's kind of two distinctions, right?
What do you mean?
Being both the first as well as the longest reigning.
That's awesome. I'm gonna be the only till I get sent to the UFC, for sure. And I know Sean. Hey man, Sean and Mr. Lights Out George. Those guys they're working, man. You know they're keeping us in the loop, or at least me in the loop. You know, so I'm excited. I think I might be either. Oh no, there's another champion too, right? The heavyweight.
Yes, Mike Quintero.
Yeah, exactly. So there's us two. So I'm pretty hyped. I'm ready to get back into it. I haven't taken any time off. Training every single day, waiting for any opportunity. I'm waiting for a UFC call. I'm waiting for a Bellator call. Any freaking call until Lights Out can come back. And as soon as Lights Out comes back, I'm gonna switch up the whole game.
I love it. I love it. And Shaman Steve saying good afternoon, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. And
it feels like it's like 6 for some reason.
It does. It does. It feels a little bit later, but that might be the time change. And then Paul Perez says, pass the gig on to me, Woods. I'll pump Morales' intro. So Paul Perez, announcer.
Hey, shoot it up. I'll shoot it. Hey, if it's good, I'll shoot it up on my Instagram, and then we'll see.
So there you go, Paul Perez. And again, you can check out the main event with Paul Perez and Beto Gray on both YouTube as well as Instagram. So check them out, 100%. And Shaman Steve says Pablo Buffer was a Rolling Stone. That may or may not be true. But the proof is in the pudding, 100%. And Albert is Nate Rand of Podium Sports says Albert is very entertaining to watch. I enjoy seeing him fight. And Nate Rand
appreciate you, Nate.
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
You.
He's covered both MMA and boxing, literally the world over via Podium Sports. So shout out to him. But dude, so obviously the COVID situation has been just kind of weird, right? But I kind of want to take it back because I actually have a weird. It was actually at the what was supposed to be the weigh-ins for your bantamweight title fight, the rematch against Ryan Doley, and that's how I found out that like everything was shutting down because of COVID. So it's weird. So, but before we do that, I kind of want to dial it back a bit. Like, so how did you become like a mixed martial arts fighter?
It's funny, dude. I just had to answer that question. How did I become a mixed martial arts fighter? Well, how I became what made me choose this route was being in jail. You know, I was in jail. My girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my now 9-year-old daughter, and I was in jail, and I knew that I had to switch it up because I wanted to be there for my daughter, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. Whether that means going to school, like something. I was gonna do something. But one day we were playing cards, and it was like a store night, so they let us play cards. A little bit later, they let the TV on, and we were playing cards, drinking coffee, and the Ultimate Fighter popped on. And usually what would happen was when the Ultimate Fighter popped on, because it was on FX at the time, or Spike, but I think it was FX. But after the movies, they would cut off, and then boom, Ultimate Fighter would hop on. And usually when that would happen, the cards would cut it off, and there goes our show. But one night they let it go down, you know. The fight, it was on TV, so we were playing cards. I'm watching it. I'm like, everybody, chill. Don't say anything to the guards. Let's just watch this, right? Let's just play and watch this. And as you're playing, you know, I told my friends, I was like, hey, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to do this. Like, this is like something like I didn't want to do this because my dad introduced me to MMA. He showed me who Royce Gracie was when I was like in the 5th grade, and showed me the UFC and all that stuff like that because he did jiu-jitsu. And but I never thought about doing anything. I always thought it was kind of weird to train traditional martial arts and stuff like that. I like to play football, and but yes, what was it? Where was that? So I was in jail, and I was like, yo, you know, I think I might do that when I get out. And my friends were like, shut up, man, play your hand. I was like, watch. When I get out, I'm gonna do that. And that was it. You know, I got out about like 6 months later. Looked up my first gym, Elite Training Center in Redondo Beach, and that was it, man. I haven't stopped since. That was 2012, May.
Wow. So I mean, it's been an 8-year journey.
Yeah, it's been 8 years.
That's pretty damn cool. Now, I mean, obviously, in terms of logistics, right? I mean, you grew up in the Valley, right? The
Yes,
Valley
sir.
area of Los Angeles. So, I
Rosita,
mean, yeah,
say it
Reseda,
with your chest. Rosita, say it with
you're,
your chest.
which I didn't live too far from there back in. I mean, like I
From
would say
where?
about 5 years ago. I was right on Reseda and Irwin,
Say it.
like the
What?
Tarzana Five.
Rosita, right?
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah.
man. Hell yeah.
So I mean, were you in the valley and then going down to Redondo Beach, or how was that going down?
No. My mom moved to. She moved to Torrance right when I was like like a little bit after 18, like maybe like 6 months after 18. Because as soon as I turned 18, literally I got locked up and did like a little like I think 3 or 4 month little thing, and then I got out. And when I got out, my mom was like, "Yo, that's it. Like it's time to get out of here." So she moved me. So she moved to Torrance. My stepdad too. You know, my he was like, you know, we got to get him out of here. So boom, he and it was closer to his job as well, so it all worked out. So we all moved out to the South Bay, and no, I still was getting in trouble when I got out here. I would find my way back there. I actually was living in the South Bay when I went to jail the last time, right before I decided to be an MMA fighter. I decided to be an MMA fighter in there, and then that was it. And then I just kind of went where it went. You know, it's crazy how I ended up at Black House because I remember looking in the magazines because there was like Fight Life magazine and there was like MMA. There was a bunch of them. I forgot, but I used to collect them because when I got out of jail, like I'm telling you, like I knew I knew a little bit. Like I knew the Ultimate Fighter. I had watched the Ultimate Fighter one. I think I saw Ultimate Fighter two. And then after that, I kind of just started messing around. I watched UFC one. I played the original games, dude. Like I know you know Ken Shamrock, Frank Shamrock. I know like Guy Messer. I know all like dude, like Mark Coleman, Mark Kerr. So I know these guys. But like I wasn't really like a fan. I didn't watch like all the shows and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, well, damn, I lost where I was going with it. What was the question again? My bad, brother.
That your mom took you to the
Yeah,
South
she moved
Bay.
us out there, and so like, I didn't know anything. I didn't, you know, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost it.
No worries, no worries. But okay, so obviously, training at Elite MMA in Redondo, right? And I mean, geographically, that's not too far from obviously Torrance. I mean, almost a hop, skip, and a jump, maybe a couple miles, right? So, there at Elite, I mean, what did you find out about yourself? Because it's one thing to be like, oh, I want to do that. I see it on TV. But and especially, after playing a couple different sports, the football, basketball, and whatever. But I mean, to be a mixed martial artist and the training that is required, it's a different beast.
Yeah. I had no idea. You know what I mean? I had no idea what I was doing. So all I knew was I wanted to be in the UFC, and MMA is the sport in the UFC. So going into the like elite training center, I went in there and I was just like, yo, I just want to be in the UFC. And then you know what I mean? Like elite training center it's a great gym. It's a freaking awesome gym and still is. But they're like more like a self defense gym. It's not a fight gym. They did have a fight team and a pretty badass fight team too. Tommy Aaron, Ramon Todorovich, Travis Williams, myself, Christos Giagos, all came from the league. You know, yeah, all five. That was the fight team. That was the fight team. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was legit. So we all trained together since then, and I was just kind of like the guy, like the like you could say like the new brown kid that was just tough. You know what I mean? I was just coming here just to scrap. Like I wasn't gonna quit because my technique obviously wasn't there because I didn't know anything, but I knew that I wasn't gonna quit, and that was it. And so I found myself onto the fight team real quick. I went in there. Ramon was actually the guy who gave me my first intro class. And he's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I want to be in the UFC." That was it. There was nothing like I've never. There was I don't know. I didn't know there was amateurs. I didn't know about all the like. I had no idea about any of it. All I know is that I wanted to be in the UFC, and that was it. And so they gave me my first intro class, and I signed up that day because I knew that that's where they had MMA. That was the closest spot. That was the fastest place or the closest place I can get to, right? And that was it, man. I signed up and eventually was I went to every class, every day. I went to every promotion. I went to eventually started teaching kids classes because I couldn't pay for I couldn't pay tuition because I wasn't working. So I ended up cleaning the gym. From cleaning the gym, eventually me training there so much, I started teaching classes. That's what happened. I started teaching classes afterwards, and then ended up leaving, going to Jiu-Jitsu Academy and all Jiu-Jitsu. I ended up giving up in MMA because I fell in love with Jiu-Jitsu. And so I just ended up doing that. Christos ends up going to Systems Training Center, hits me up, and he's like, "Yo, man, are you doing MMA still?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to focus on Jiu-Jitsu." He's like, "Nah, you need to do MMA." And I'm like, he's like, "Bro, you're good. You should do MMA." And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll come down. So I go down to Systems Training Center, and that's where I met Coach James. And then from there, around the same time I met Coach James is when I started training at Black House because Pedro Munoz was like, because I helped him. I didn't help him, but I was his punching bag a couple of times during one of his camps. So he was and he knew I was tough, and he's like, because he knew I was gonna make my debut for Bellator. And he's like, it's a big deal, so come to Black House, and that was it. And that's how I got here. So.
Oh man, that's I mean, talking about turning a negative into a positive, right? Kind of coming out of jail and looking for a purpose, and then I mean, you really finding it. I mean, funny enough, like playing cards, and drinking Starbucks and what have you. But I mean,
Not
it
Starbucks.
led you. Oh, it wasn't Starbucks.
No, hell no. It was like, what was it? Was it Foster's? Might have been Foster's.
Was
Keefe Coffee.
Keefe Coffee?
Keefe Coffee.
Shout out to Keefe.
Bomb. Get some big old scoops, put a Butterfinger in there. Or a Fireball. If you don't have a Butterfinger, put a Fireball. Or just drink it black. One of the two. One of the three.
Well, I mean, everything that I drink is black, so I don't know.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I don't know what that says about my soul, but anyway. But Nate Wren says Reseda made me think of Karate Kid.
It does for everybody, man. Everybody thinks Karate Kid. You know what's funny? I've still never seen Karate Kid. The original one, I still haven't seen it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It's not that I don't want to see it. It's just I don't have time to watch it. There's a lot of there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. Maybe one day. I tell my daughter to watch it though.
Okay.
I'm like, everybody loves it, babe. You should watch it.
There you go. That's a nice little layup.
So
That's a good little layup right there. But obviously, I mean, you definitely talked about the Bellator deal in your first fight for Bellator, but I mean, you don't just go, straight from, you know, elite, sometimes systems, and then later Black House. You had a first fight, and you did you do it at like the Camo amateur scene or?
Yeah, yeah. No, I started. So my first fight, I was at Systems Training Center. So let me see. I did 6 months at Elite, then I did 6 months at Kaiki's. I did like about a year at Kaiki's because I was on and off with Systems and Kaiki's. I would go to Kaiki's in the morning and then go to Systems in the morning and then go to Jiu Jitsu at night. Um, and that was kind of my routine every day. That's when I fought, and then I made my Camo debut for Systems Training Center. So yeah, I was at Systems. Yep.
And for those that don't already know, but like we were talking about Camo, and Camo is the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization. It is like literally the scene and organization sanctioning body for everything amateur fights, all here in California, from north to south.
What? So what about Camo? Camo's
No,
one.
no, no. I was just explaining for folks that don't, like that
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the best. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see a lot of champs come out of Camo. Watch.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're proof positive that that system. Pardon the pun. That system works, right? S- So,
No,
Jesse wants to know. Oh, he actually says that you got to watch the movie. It's one of the most iconic martial arts movies,
it's very
and
true.
that's what I hear too. I hear it, and then it's always awesome to watch somebody come up, from Camo into the UFC, and that's something that you were able to do.
For sure. And that's something anybody can do. You know what I
And
mean? I can't. I don't want to say anybody because it's obviously not true. What I'm saying is just like if you want to do it, then it's possible to do it. It's not that hard of a thing to do. Like it's hard, but I mean, there's a lot of hard things to do. Like for me, like I don't know, working at freaking SpaceX would probably be hard. I don't know what you know what I mean? But like anything that you want to do, you just got to do it, man. You just got to just commit to it, and that's it, man. It's not hard. Just stay consistent. That's all it is. Stick to the program. Uh, yeah, it's a marathon.
Yep, not a foot race, not a foot race at all. So in terms of your amateur career, like how many fights did you have under the Camo banner?
Four. No, five. I had 5 fights. So I was an amateur for like 9 months. Um, I hopped in. I was an amateur for 9 months. Let me close the door. Or maybe you know what? Can you hear that kicking?
I mean, slightly. It's not even.
Yeah, check this out. How do I flip
Behind
it?
the scenes. Let's see.
I don't know how to
Who we
flip
got?
it. No, there's no flip. All right, there's no
No.
flip. But there's like all that cool stuff like that. Like this is where I'm gonna take you right now. Oh shoot.
There's
But,
like Anderson Silva and Machida gear.
yeah, look like right here. That's when he choked out Chael Sonnen.
No way.
Yeah, Anderson Silva. There's a gang good stuff. I don't know where the lights are, so I guess I can't do it here either. But I guess actually, you know what? I'm doing my friend's barbershop.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, we have Black House Barber now, dude.
Wait, when did that happen?
Uh, recently, not too long ago.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Literally like an all-in-one shop. If
Bro,
somebody,
it's freaking awesome, man. It's freaking awesome.
yeah.
I'm hyped.
And then there's
I'm trying to
also
get
like
back.
a gym behind, right?
Exactly, and so like I was like, yo, you can take your clients afterwards and then bring them back there just to kind of show them like a cool little experience,
That's not a bad selling point at all. At all.
I just wish it was black.
In due time, good sir. In due time, I'm sure that'll happen. 100%. 100%. I mean, there's definitively a theme running through Black House. All black everything, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Now, now, in terms of your first fight, your first professional fight, like, when did, for those who don't know, like, when did that occur?
Oh shoot, yeah, I was talking about my amateur. Like, so
Right.
about 9 months. Cause all right, so let me see. So the whole goal in my amateur, because like I didn't want to stay amateur for long. I wanted to be in and out. I want to go straight to the pros. I want to go to the UFC as fast as possible. So, um, yeah. So the whole goal was to get that state title. Because back then, I feel like the state title now they kind of throw it around a little bit. Oh, I like this kid, so I'm gonna give him the state title. Oh, I want it on my show, so I'm gonna give him the state title. But back then, it was like one state title. It felt like, and it only came around once in a while. That's how it felt like for me. And it was the end of the year, and get down. I actually got qualified to be. I was so worried because I was ranked number 4 in Camel. I wasn't ranked number 1. But I had 4 fights. I was going back to back to back to back. Like I said, like I fought in 9 months. I don't know what the time. One fight I did week to week. Like literally, I fought on Saturday and I fought again on Friday. Yeah, I was on one, but I made it to the state championship and I lost. Actually, I lost a decision to Edgar Gonzalez. I thought I won that fight, but they gave it to him. It was Get Down Promotions, and I lost
Yeah.
the state title. And I was so pissed. I wanted that thing, but anyways, from there, Tony Padilla, who was the owner of Sparstar, and I was the champion at Sparstar. My second amateur fight, I got to fight for the belt at Sparstar against the beast Tigran Monastrosian. I think he's a beast, man. And I got to fight him. Nobody wanted to fight him at the time, and I was like, yo, I'll fight him. Uh, and Tony let me fight him. And so, anyways, I was supposed to fight for their belt again, but then Tony got an offer, I guess, and it was to have someone fight on Bellator. And I was like, I'll fight on Bellator. And it was cool because it was me versus another Sparstar champ, the guy, the Bantamweight champion before me. And so we both got to fight at Bellator. And that was, I don't know when I think 2014.
Damn, that's like, it's crazy because theoretically speaking, it's two Spar Star champions fighting in Bellator. That's a nice little cross promotion deal.
That was cool. It was real cool. I feel like it was like one of the first ones because, that happens a lot. That happened a lot after. You know what I mean? And I feel like it was the first one. It was cool because afterwards, because it was a bloody fight. Sparstar was they brought me over. They gave me free tickets. They always gave the champion free tickets. That's what's cool about it. Tony's the man. But I had these bloodied hand wraps, and I just gave them to Tony. I was like, "Here you go, bro. Thank you for giving me that shot." It was cool, man.
Yeah, shout out to Tony Padilla. Such a good dude, and I mean, an integral part of our California fight scene. And that's one of the the things that, unfortunately, like many things that went away with COVID, but like local fights here, as well as the safety net, right? Because we saw maybe what 4 to 6 bar stars, and you were somebody that always showed love to the scene that brought you up. I mean, you were a mainstay, at Spar Star shows, and were able to kind of get in there with your fans and interact, and even kind of speaking like life and experience to other fighters. Like you always share that time and help develop that next stage of fighters. So yeah, man. Shout out to Tony Padilla and you for everything that you do.
Oh man, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, Tony's the man. Sparstar is the shit too. I mean, Sparstar is the spot.
Fuck yeah, it is. And our good friend, good brother Robert Simerson said that's my guy right there. Shout out to Rob and Free Admission Media, and the Gym Crashers and Royal Rumble, and all of the fantastic shit that they have on the Free Admission YouTube and Facebook channel. So you might
Hey, did you
want to
see
check
they're
them
throwing a
out.
tournament?
Yes, I just saw that in Galveston, Texas. What the fuck is that? Robert, we might have to have you on, good sir. I'm just saying. Are you thinking about jumping in? 3-on-3.
No, I know I need to start doing some more tournaments and all that. Like, if I do start doing tournaments, for sure I'm gonna. I have. It's like some we have another tournament that's coming up. My friend Brady's gonna be doing it. But it's ran by, I think, my friend Raf Estrada from Verbal Tap,
Oh
and
yeah, Rafa Esparza from Verbal Tap.
as
Yeah,
far as, yeah,
100%.
I forgot
Yeah.
his last name. He's gonna kill me for that one. And or actually, no, he was gonna commentate, but it's owned by or ran by Michael from 10th Planet.
Oh,
Ashley, I don't remember
Plester.
his last name. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
666, right? 666 BJJ.
Something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like I was like, yeah, if I started, I would definitely like to do that one because it's my friends. You know what I mean? Like, I like to like there's tournaments like that. You know, I would have to do them because like the more you compete, the better, man. Like honestly, like because you get more comfortable in that situation. It's different. Like it's a whole nother different type of adrenaline, a whole different type of like if you can be calm in those situations. That's the biggest thing, man. If you can think in chaos, like that's where it's at, but not think at the same time.
No, no, absolutely. Be water. Be fucking water. I'm just saying. All right. And Rob says behind the camera only, bro. Y'all know. He sounds like somebody from that we know from Rock LA, right? Like that person remains nameless because he likes it that way. So, but you know who you are, and we thank you for all you do.
Facts.
Mysterious, yeah, mysterious figures. But what did you learn? I mean, obviously, to get, and this is something that one of your teammates had essentially went through having your first professional fight at Bellator. I mean, were there any nerves? Like,
For sure, man. There was a lot of drama that went into that camp. I actually went in with like 3 friends as my corner. Pedro Munoz, my friend Michael Leonard, and my friend Marcus Koval, owner of Systems
ah,
Training Center. 3 friends because there was like a bunch of drama within my coaches, and honestly, man, like I feel like my whole career has been like a rush, like I was so like in hurry to get what I needed to do. Like I wanted to be in the UFC so bad that like I was just like, let's just go. That I never gave myself time to develop, and so for sure I wasn't ready for that fight, but I just went in there and fought. And I never thought I wasn't ready. I wasn't really nervous. I've never thought I was gonna lose a fight. I've never, ever in my life thought maybe I'm gonna lose. Like I've never thought that, I know it's a possibility, I'm worried about like I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught. I don't want to scare my friends and family. I don't want to get hurt. Like, but I don't think I'm gonna lose. I'm like, yeah, there's these things that I got to avoid, but I'm gonna snipe this fool. I'm gonna catch this guy no matter what. I'm gonna catch this guy. Like, even like there was this one fight, Golden Boy. That was probably like the worst fight I've ever had. I was just so all over the place with my head and camps and all that kind of stuff like that. But it was one of the most important fights I've ever had. But I was getting my butt kicked, and like even as I was getting my ass kicked, like not butt kicked. I was getting controlled. Like the guy had my arm like in like that Dagestan handcuff kind of style, and I didn't know how to get out. My arm was dead. And I was tired because I thought I was conditioned, but I wasn't, and I'm bleeding, and so like it's just like because like he's had me like here for 3 rounds, and I'm just like thinking like I'm still gonna get out of here and I'm gonna kick your ass. You know what I mean? Like I'm never. There's never like a thought of like I'm gonna lose ever, but I am nervous though, like for sure. I get nervous, I get scared, and all that stuff happens, but um, I don't know. There was something that I heard a long time ago. It's like you're gonna have butterflies, right? They're gonna come no matter what. But you gotta get the butterflies like flowing in the right direction. Like like focus on getting them going together instead of going right. So just focus on something. I'm just like, all right, just stay focused, and that's it. And like I'm talking about like the build up to the fight. Coming up to the fight, bro. Don't you know what I mean? Like I'm not. I'm training. This guy's in the back of my mind, but I'm training. Like I'm focused. The day of the fight, like how are you gonna perform? You gonna show up? Or are you gonna that stuff? Like yeah, you're gonna move. You're gonna freeze up cameras. You know what I mean? All that stuff. All that stuff. You think like, what if I get knocked out? Like all that. I feel all of it. You know what I mean? But it's just feelings. You know what I mean? Get over it and go over there and just be focused. That's why being fundamentally sound is so important, man. For fighting, at least. I think in everything, but for fighting for sure.
No, and there's many parables that you can draw from mixed martial arts and apply it to many aspects of your personal life. Which I gotta ask you. Well, first, in terms of like the butterflies deal, Sting. I know it's pro wrestling, but Sting of like WCW and then later WWE fame and WWE Hall of Famer. But he said like, he wrestled up until his like I think he was like 56, right?
Okay.
And he said he gets butterflies every time. From the first match all the way up until the last match. And the thing about it, especially being in a physical sport, it's one of those things where your butterfly is gonna check you. Like, do you really want to do this? I don't care how many zeros that the promoter wants to put at the end of the decimal point, but like the butterflies are good, right? Because like it makes you feel like this is worth it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was about to say because I want those zeros at the end of my checks.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because those make my butterflies go too. You know what I mean? So I need them checks. I need those zeros. But yeah, man, definitely. There's got to be something that brings you back to it, right? Because like getting punched in the face is not fun. Like it's funny because I teach, right? And some of the like I think my friend, I forgot who it was, but they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, when am I gonna stop being a bitch?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Nah, never." You know. He was like, I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Every time someone throws something at me, I'm like scared. I flinch. I'm like, well, you're that. I mean, that's not a bad thing. You know, you're not supposed to want to get hit. If something's coming at you, I think you'd be stupid to just sit there and just go, you know what I mean? Move your head, flinch. That's a good reaction. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't even know why I freaking said that shit. What did I think? Why did I even bring that up? But like, damn, where was I even talking about? I was talking about my student. Why is he? Why do you? What the heck? What the heck were we talking about? I
You,
lost it.
you were saying that somebody came up to you and they were like, "When am I gonna stop being a bitch?" Right?
Right, and I told him like it's not a bad thing to react, right? Reacting is reacting, but we were talking about something before that for me to even bring this thing up. Anyways, that happens to me a lot, man. See, I get punched in the head for a living, you know what
No
I mean?
worries, no worries. But I mean, okay, so from the Bellator fight, what happens next? All right, like, what was the next move in the career?
UFC, man, UFC. That was it. Like, I mean, I ended up having another fight at Bellator, and then after that, I got I signed with Jason House with Iridium.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we fought. That was when I finally had a manager. So then we got a fight with Bama. And then after Bama, I had to fight. I think I fought in Sacramento. Yep, that would have made. Fought in Sacramento. And then that was for WFC. And then I fought again at World Series of Fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then after World Series of Fighting, I was gonna fight Benito Lopez at the second Sacramento for WFC for the WFC Bantamweight title. So that would have been my first title fight, but Benito Lopez had to pull out, and I was pissed because that was gonna be my first title, and he had a lot of hype. I had a lot of hype. We were both undefeated. It would have been good. Um, but then that fight got canceled. Then my manager set something up with RFA where I was able to fight short notice. It was like 2 or 3 weeks notice. But it was okay because I was already in shape, ready to go. Um, it was against my teammate or one of my teammates, Mario Israel, uh, from Black House. So then I couldn't train at Black House, which kind of sucked. But it was a good fight. I ended up winning by knockout, and Dana White was there. Dana White saw my fight, or he didn't see my fight. He acts like he saw my fight, but he didn't see my fight. Um, the show was Dana White's looking for a fight, so they saw my fight, signed me, and that's all she wrote. I made it to the UFC.
I mean, that was one of the memorable episodes. I think that was season 1 of Dana White's Looking for a Fight, the LA edition, and it had. I mean, not just. I mean, I think the terms of engagement are different, right? That was the one where him and the crew they went to, I think Crossroads, the Travis Barker's, vegan
I want to go
restaurant.
there, bro.
Me too. I mean, damn it, COVID. My goodness. Like
Is it
I'm sure.
is it closed down?
I don't know. I should check and maybe even throw it in the Postmates just to see what happens. But I mean, it's not anything
It's not
like
gonna be the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know. So I mean, I'm like 20 minutes away from it, so or an hour in traffic, so I don't think it'll taste as well. So I'm just saying.
Outdoor dining. Yeah, so yeah, they were on the Kingdom. They were on the Kingdom, and it's cool because I was on the Kingdom, so I got to like they because they were on the Kingdom. The day of my fight, the guys from the Kingdom were there, because they went on the set of the Kingdom, and it was cool because I got to see them because when I was on the show The Kingdom, I was about to have a better part in the show. Yeah, because I was actually going to be Nick Jonas's training partner, Jose. But yeah, but this was during my amateur career, and I chose to fight, and so I had to leave both. I was in season 1 and season 2,
Yes.
and in season 1 I had to leave because I had a fight, and then season 2 I had to leave because I had a fight. I chose to fight. By season 2 I was already a pro, I think. Yeah, I. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was a pro. I was a professional fighter by then, so then it was a little bit different. But I left right away. Amateur, like I mean, I was getting paid. I should have stayed a little longer. I was getting paid, bomb food, and I would have had a better part. Who knows what would happen?
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because I didn't see it because it was on audience the first run of the show, right? So I didn't
Epic.
catch it until
No, audience was it?
yeah, it was an audience. It was a direct TV, like AT&T.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so I didn't catch it. I didn't have that, and I had cut the cord many a moon ago. So I just caught it on Netflix, and like yes, it's a phenomenal show. So check it out, Kingdom on Netflix. You could get all 3 seasons for your monthly subscription. But part of the fun is seeing my friends. Like in the background, I see you. I see Terrion Flashware. I even see Ian Harris, Christos Giagos, Justine Kish was on an episode against the female fighter.
She
Like,
was.
yeah,
I gotta watch that.
yeah, and I was just like, that was part of the cool thing. Is like I got to see all my friends doing the thing.
It was cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool because I mean, because of that show, I became good friends with Jamal Pogues, Joe Stevenson. Dude, that guy's one of like someone I admire and I look up to like so much, man. That guy's a great example for like for a fighter, for sure. But as a person, man, he's a cool dude. He's a great dad. He's the homie, man. He's a good people. He's good. He's really good people.
I mean, they say never meet your heroes because you might get disappointed. If Joe Stevenson is your hero, Joe Daddy, you won't be disappointed. He is probably one of the most down to earth, one of the most legit, not just fighters, but also, I mean, Dominic Reyes comes out of Cobra Kai. There's a litany of guys and gals that he's training for the next phase of MMA stardom. So I'm just saying.
He's gonna continue to grow fighters forever. He loves doing that, man. This is what he does, bro. He's been fighting since he was a kid, like underage. Like he's a pioneer of the sport, man. I remember watching season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter, and he was during the Scarecrow Challenge, and he freaking broke. I don't even know how many he did, So it's like, oh, the Ultimate Fighter was great, man. I love that show. I can't wait for it to come back.
Yeah, man, and that's good. That's a big thing. It's just like the bring back Kingdom. I definitely think that there should be at least one season. I mean, it's perfect, but I mean, it's just like having that like scoop of ice cream. Like if you could have a second scoop of ice cream, why the hell not, right?
No, I'm talking about The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, the Ultimate Fighter. Oh yes, that's coming back on ESPN Plus. That's sick. It's so sick.
Can't wait, man.
Now, I so obviously, that was a historical performance because the, the thing that happened was like you were fighting Din Thomas's guy, weren't you?
No, 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 no. I was fighting my
Was it?
teammate.
Oh, you were, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And
yeah.
then,
And so the whole thing was Dean Thomas's guy actually fights for the UFC now. Thiago Santos, I think Santos. I don't know his name.
okay,
Moises, Thiago Moises. I think
Diego
it is.
Moses, yeah.
He fights. He's out of ATT now, but he fights exactly. He's out of ATT. I think Dana White was coming to see him.
Yes.
And he fought Emmers, and Emmers is in the UFC as well.
Mm-hmm.
So both those guys are both in the UFC. So they fought, and Dana White thought that Thiago needed some more time. And then I think what happened was he was there to see my opponent.
Yes.
And I was short notice. I was probably food, so but I'm nobody's food. And I went out there and did what I was supposed to do and got what was mine. Now I just need that shit. Now I need it back. That's all it is. I'm just waiting for my shot.
I know, but one of the most memorable moments is like when they came backstage and it was like Dana White and looking for the fight crew, but also like Frank Grillo of Kingdom, and
Yeah,
then
that's the homie, man. Frank Grillo's
yeah,
cool people. Yeah, Frank Grillo. I was cool with Frank. I got real cool with the fighters. You know what I mean? Because that's who. Because like when it was done, while they were shooting, we had to be quiet in the back, so we would train. You know what I mean? Like we'd have to be really quiet, but Joe would show us techniques. I remember one time we had to be quiet because I was like, man, I want to train, and Joe was like, all right, you want to train? All right, we can train then. Right? And so he's like, but you got to be quiet. You can't scream. Right? And I was good at jiu-jitsu at the time. And Joe tapped me. He tapped me like 15 times, bro, in like 2 minutes. It was ridiculous, bro. He just went there and just smashed me. He's like, yo, you want to train, huh? All right, let's train. And he just smashed me. And I was like, all right, there's levels to this shit. That was a humbling experience in my life. And that's why I respect that guy.
Did it make the
He did
final
it easily,
cut?
too. Huh?
Did it make it into the show? Have you seen any of the show yet?
No. This is in between. This is why I couldn't scream. Was
Okay.
because it was during the cuts, like during the scenes where not the cuts, but when they were filming the actual actors or whatever, and we would have to be quiet like in the back or whatever the heck you're quiet on set or whatever the heck whatever they do. That's when we would train, or we would just train. Period. You know what I mean? But I felt like they were just. We have to be quiet the whole time. It was one of those days because some days you go in there and they're going to use you a lot, and some days they don't use you at all, and you're just sitting there waiting because they paid for your time, So you sit there and you wait till whenever they need you to go out there. So it was one of those days.
Yeah, man, and it seems like Joe Stevenson definitely put you through it. But again, that tenured, grizzled veteran that Joe Daddy Stevenson is, my man. Like that's it. But oh wait, obviously the culmination of what happened, right? Because you set out that you were going to be in the UFC, right? And you came your opponent, Dana White, and the crew there, right? And they go. That was one of like the most memorable aspects of that episode. Was like you in a suit and your hat and everything like that, and they give you that contract and that hug and just like you could feel the emotion. And right now, it is on YouTube. It is on UFC Fight Pass. But like the raw emotion, I can only compare it to uh, Darren Elkins, right, who also fought on UFC 209 with you, right, and thankfully because of you, I was there to bore witness it. But after he knocks out Merced Bektik, there's this growl and everything like that. Well, you growled in a completely different way when you embraced Dana White. That was incredible. So, what was going through your mind?
I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it because I didn't go in there thinking I was going to get a contract. I was going in there thinking or knowing that Dana White was going to know who Albert Morales was. You know what I mean? I didn't think I was going to get the contract. My friend Christos fought. My friend Tommy fought. He was there for the other guy, not me. Thiago Santos, Jamal Emmers,
Jamal, yeah.
who's freaking tearing up it all. He's a beast. I don't know how he barely got into the UFC when he's been tearing it up forever. But at least he's there. So it's just like there's just so many just beasts right on that card. And the thing is, like, I didn't think about any of that stuff. I was just like, I'm just gonna win. I'm just gonna go out there and knock this guy out. That's it. That was all I was thinking about. And I remember in the backstage, freaking Tommy was there, and Tommy was doing his thing. And Christos was kind of there. He was getting ready. He was getting in the zone. And I was just there. I was just like, man, hey, listen, you guys need to chill. Like, we're about to go out there. We're about to smash. Like, Tommy's gonna go out there. No, Tommy was the last fight. So Christos is about to go out there, smoke his guy in the first round. I'm about to go out there, smoke my guy in the first round. And I was like, Tommy's about to go out there and smoke his guy in the first round. And that shit all happened. We all knocked the guys out in the first round. It was a good night, man. And then when they called us right. They're like, I'm hyped because I'm in my suit. I'm freaking hyped. You know, Vanessa's there. Vanessa's pregnant. My kids are there. It's all good. And like everybody's there. It was freaking cool. They call me they're like, Albert, pull up in the back. The commission needs to talk to you. And I'm like, all right, cool. I thought I lost my check. Like, I thought I left it on the freaking thing or whatever. So I go back there. The commission's there, and I was like, what's up? I'm like, well, Dana White wants to see you. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Dana White wants to see you. So what does that mean, bro? He's like, well, there's only one thing that means, tell me. And I was like, say no more. Right? And then when Dana White finally comes in, like, the camera crew comes in, is like getting caught in an episode of Cheaters. All the camera crew comes out, and I'm like, oh crap, here it goes. And he's like, we're gonna do it, kid. Welcome to the UFC. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. I was like, just picked him up, man. It felt good, man. Felt like at the time, like, imagine, like, this was the problem, the dream was to make it to the UFC. Honestly, my dream, like my coach, Coach James Teal out of the Movement Boxing, shout out, Movement MMA. They're in Florida right now, scrapping. Shout out to all those guys. My goal was to make it to the UFC and be a Black House fighter. That was my dream. And, like, I made that happen. So, like, at that time, I'm 24 years old, and I'm like, I made that happen. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I remember afterwards, like, I was just walking around, and there was like grass. It was at the OC hangar. So if you make a left outside the hangar, there's a patch of grass. And I just remember just go, poof, and I just laid there, and I was just like, did it. You know what I mean? But that was like, and like, that was the problem though, is that because once that, and then I think once I got to the UFC, like, and started fighting, like, I was already out my mojo. Like, I got to the UFC and I was already in that mindset. Like, I did it. Like, I'm here. Now I'm here, and this is my time. And so I started partying and just doing a bunch of stupid stuff. I would still train, but I wouldn't train. Like, I don't understand the game the way I do now. Like, I was just I was loving those extra zeros on my check, and it was just crazy. But that was it. I set my dream too low, I feel. That's what I'm saying. Like, what were you saying?
No. I think there's a lot to it, but in terms of, like, was there, looking back in retrospect, and it's not fair to do, but, like, knowing what you know now, was there anything that you would have done differently?
Nah. You know, I mean, I like to say so, man. I would like to say yeah. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that I made, a lot of them, but that like I look back at as like I talk about this as a kid. Um, as a kid, I made a lot of mistakes. You know, getting me eventually like leading me to like eventually getting locked up and stuff like that, and but all those things like going to jail, like everything, like I mean, I would love to just like go through a perfect, I mean, like a nice simple life and not have to go through all the hard lessons, because guess what, I have to learn the lessons, you know what I mean, like, you know, it sucks, but it's like kind of the way I have to learn it, or not have to learn, but that's the way I've been learning. I'm trying to change that. uh but yeah, man, like because now I'm different, and the thing is like the thing is like when I got into the UFC, I felt like I can get better, but just a little bit better. You know what I mean? I'm just a little bit like I'm already almost there. Like I thought I was Conor McGregor, man. I looked at guys, I looked at other like UFC fighters, and I kind of still do, with respect though. But I just look at them and I'm just like, I could knock you out. I could beat you up. You know what I mean? But I would look at them like less than that, like with no respect. I'd be like I remember talking about Alejandro Perez. He's like an inch shorter than me, and I was like, he looks like a little man with Napoleon complex. And I was just like, I had never talked. Actually, no, I've always liked talking crap, but I don't really I had never done it at the time until then. Like, I don't know, I was just feeling myself in a way that was kind of dumb, and so like, no, I don't regret that, because at the time I felt like that was the thing to do, and I was able to learn that that's not what you're supposed to do. You know, what you're supposed to do is just be yourself and be humble. And I mean, if it's in your card and if it's natural for you to be Conor McGregor, if you know if you are naturally like that, like that's who you are. You know what I mean? But it's not, just be you and stick to the program. You know, but I see it now with a lot of young fighters. I see them going through what I went through, and I'm just like, you know, you just have to go through it. I like you can try to like I try to tell them, you know what I mean, but you have to learn the hard way, just like I did sometimes.
Sometimes, you know. But
It sucks, man. It sucks,
it,
but
hindsight is always 2020, right?
uh, the cool thing is that I'm 29, and I'm making my run. And it's like right now I'm getting to this cool point in my like I'm realizing that, like, you know, shout out to that mystery man, you know, talking about teaching me about patience, you know. Like I think about that stuff a lot, and it's just like, you know, I want to fight. Like it's been a year since I fought, and and like I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. And like I want to do. I want to make a move. I want to do something. It's just like I want to do stuff. I know I'm doing the right things, because I know I'm doing the right things. Like I'm training every day. I'm stacking. You know what I mean? I'm working every day. Like I'm doing the right stuff. I'm staying consistent. You know, I'm not worried about this and that. I'm just focused on a couple things, and that's it. And I know I'm doing the right thing, like I was saying, but this whole thing, this whole COVID thing, is like really teaching me patience. You know what I mean? Like as long as keep working, you know what I mean. It's better. Like I said, like it's always better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. It's like the same thing, right? And so, but like patience is like realizing like a year. I mean, it's a lot. A year is a lot, but a year is a lot if you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? But if you're doing stuff like even if you're doing stuff like it's like it's not a long time, but it is a lot of time. You know what I mean? Like it's not that long of a time. Like I'm 29 years old. I'm still in shape. I'm in the best shape. You know what I mean? And I know how much more. That's the scary thing, is just that like if you allow me to train full time, I'm still gonna work, but I won't have to be stressing my mind about work, about figuring out that stuff, and I can just train at peace, full time. You know, it's gonna be bad for these guys. Once I can figure out a schedule, once I can figure out like all that stuff like that, man. Oh well, I mean not a schedule, but like schedule, like to where training and working and like all that stuff is not stressful. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be different, man.
No, and I mean, that's a little bit of a about face because you said earlier, in terms of the opportunities that you were given early on in your career, that you felt that you were undeveloped to an extent, right? So, I mean, when you say that I'm in the best shape of my life and, I'm thinking about things a little bit more clearly and I'm going to make an impact the next time I step into a cage and I'm ready for every opportunity. I mean, that's a that's quite a bit of maturity, my man.
Yeah, through time, man, through time and experiences, you know what I mean? And like, and I still feel like I'm not final form, not even close. You know what I mean? I'm like maybe like stage two, or like from like the larvae form into like, you know what I mean? Like I'm still growing. I'm still trying to soak up as much as I can. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Like,
No, 100%.
you know,
It's crazy. Which I have to I gotta bring it back because this moment was special for. I want to say it was special for both of us for completely different reasons. We're going back to UFC 209, right? And thankfully for you, I was able to be there. I think I woke up because I had literally traveled all night when you were like, "Hey, we got a ticket for you. I'd won a contest." I was like, "Yeah," and I tried to figure out how the hell I was going to get to Vegas. No car, no nothing, whatever. And my wife like found a 1 o'clock Greyhound from like downtown
your wife's
LA.
gangster, dude.
I'm just saying, but I mean, it was just
She's
like,
so gangster.
how much do you want it, right? So that was it, and
Yeah.
I walked from like Plaza Hotel on Fremont Street all the way to the Strip in New York, New York. Hadn't slept because there was like a lady kind of going through the meth sweats right next to me, and I was like, I don't want my shit getting stolen and everything like that. But I mean, to me, it was like, man, being around you, being around Coach Kenny Johnson and Coach James and Jason House of Iridium, and for me, I was just like, man, I want to belong here. Like this feels so good. Like just the warmth of the community, and as a kid that never really felt like they felt fit in anywhere, like I felt you guys made me feel like I fit in, right? So I was just like, I want to earn my fucking place. Now, for you, completely different deal, where that was your first win. And I mean, right in the middle of T-Mobile Arena. Obviously, we were talking about that Bruce Buffer introduction. You get a post fight with Joe Rogan. In my mind's eye, Joe Rogan in the argument of like goat and greatest of all time, I think him and Howard Cosell, but I would edge out Rogan a little bit more over Howard Cosell as like the best combat sports commentators of all time. Like Joe Rogan, and it's everyone else. And no disrespect to anyone else, but I mean that's it. But I mean, getting that win, the UFC win in T-Mobile, uh, what was that like? Because I mean, fuck, I know how crazy that shit was for me, and fucking me having the fight me clothing fucking deal, and Jason House trying to get me and Coach Andre into the fucking club after because like
That was
they were,
crazy.
yeah, right,
He got
fucking
us in,
Jason
man.
House.
Yeah, he got us in. Let that guy up. He got us in there. That was cool, man. It was a good night, bro. It was a great night, man. It was yeah, it was my first and only win in the UFC, I think. You know, so it's good. It's a good thing. And it's funny, like I became friends with Andre Sukumta, who just fought this weekend and won. So shout out to that guy. Um, yeah, man, it's a huge deal, you know, because it's my only win in the UFC. The only thing I regret, and like no respect disrespect to nah, I'm not even gonna say it. I just wish I would have held my flag, you know. Ugh. Sometimes I see that picture and I'm just like, but I wasn't thinking I was never gonna win. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Even that fight, man. That fight was a short notice fight too, and I was, you know, I was partying too. It's just, yeah, Ugh. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It drives me. It's so frustrating. But at the same time, like I said, like I wouldn't be me if I wasn't that guy. So it's all good.
Yeah, but one thing that I learned about you, obviously, a win can show like the mindset of a person. But I actually want to go like before the fight because like I remember sitting at what was it the protein shake house or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, and
Protein house.
Jason literally like talked to you and Vanessa and asked you, like, I mean, this is hours before you were going to make your T-Mobile debut, a part of this like crazy UFC 209 card. Was supposed to be two title fights, one of the Tony Ferguson and Habib matches that were supposed to
Imagine if we
happen.
got to see that.
Yeah, right. So, but the funny thing about it was when Jason asked you, like you were like a kid going to Disneyland the first time. You're like, I want to go to Nike Town, and I was just like, this dude is about to like fucking go and take part of this crazy fucking event, and he wants to go see shoes. Like I was just like, he's built a little bit fucking different than the rest of us, and I probably face like the worst rejection I have ever experienced. And I mean, since like I got I get dissed from the prom in like 11th grade, right? Some chick and boo, some chick. But anyway, but the thing about it is like you went on live on Facebook and you had like literally thousands of people listening to you talk about shoes and the leather and the fucking intricate and what you should buy and whatever. And you were trying on shoes, and then you're like, "Hey, Woods, check it out. You go live and whatever." And fucking people were like, "Boo," whatever. But I was just like, "Fuck." There are people that were chiming in that didn't even know that you were in the UFC. There were some
Yeah.
that did, but some that didn't. Just to fucking see you talk about shoes and what you liked about these designs and everything. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, Bronx, pick this motherfucker up. Like in many ways, I still believe like you should have your own like shoe fucking channel on YouTube. Just you're that guy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. That's an idea right there.
Just saying, we'll simmer. You, me, and the again the man who will remain nameless. We'll talk. We'll talk.
You gotta give him a better name than that.
I'm just saying, gaming shoe deals. I'm just saying I mean that's a whole nother avenue, right? But obviously, I mean that was a fucking big win, And then, you find yourself outside of the UFC from the outside looking in. But I mean, it was kind of cool because we got to see you in like the local scene, right? And what ended up becoming your first title. I mean, literally 8 years in, and you get your first title. Didn't have a title in amateur. Didn't have a, it thwarted your.
I did have a title in amateur.
Oh, you did have a title.
Yeah, Sparstar title.
Okay, yeah. So your second and your very first pro title. And I mean that was a fucking hell of a fight, which I asked. I mean, Shaman Steve says his last fight with Ryan Lilly was a slobber knocker. Looking forward to the rematch. But fuck, I mean, lights out. That's a pretty fucking fun promotion to fight for.
It's the best promotion to fight for. You know what I mean? It's the best promotion. It's got the best bantamweight in the outside the UFC. So it's the best promotion to fight for. So if anybody wants to fight, let's scrap. Ryan Lilly, shout out to Ryan, but he don't want that smoke. He really don't want that smoke. Last time was kind of like, and I say that with all respect, because the guy that he fought last time is not that guy was left on that night. You know what I mean? The guy that's here now is like a little. What is it? We're like a year, a little over a year. So 365 days plus better, because I train every freaking day. You know, so yeah, he doesn't want that smoke. That'd be bad for him. But if that would be it, that would be it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I'm ready to fight anybody, bro. Like if the UFC's not ready to call me, then I just need to take out everybody in front of me. And it's always been that mindset, bro. It's like it's never been anything else other than that. Like even if I lose, it's like if I lose a fight, I'm not gonna lose. There's no more losing, you know. But when I lose, it's like the mindset is not like, oh, what the mindset is I'm not losing again. You know what I mean? Like, and I want every loss that I've lost, I want them back. You know what I mean? Like if I can get them, if I can get them back right now, I would. Um, if I can get them back in my career, if I can dictate that, then I would too. You know, because I don't want to lose to anybody. You know, so and then it's just that's just who I am. And so hopefully, I mean, if Ryan Lilly's who's next, then that's who's next. But whoever's next is just it's a wrap. But I don't think it was. I don't think there should be a rematch. Um, I don't think the fight was close. I don't think I don't think he wanted to finish that fight as much as he says he wanted to finish that fight. But um, yeah,
No, I mean that, and it's kind of crazy, right? Because you guys were supposed to have a rematch, for Lights Out on March 13th, right? And it
yeah.
was kind of crazy. It was actually at the weigh-ins that I found out that everything had been shut down. So essentially, I meet with Steve Bash on Wednesday, right? Which had to be what, the 11th, right? And he was like, "Yeah, come down tomorrow." For the weigh-ins and everything like that. And so I get there, and I mean, I'm in where I live. It's like literally 20 minutes down the five, and I'm there at Commerce Casino. So I'm all like, I've been to Spar Star, I've been to Lights Out there. I know where everything happens, right? So I get there. There's no cage set up, nothing, right? And then I look on the Instagram page, and in the travel time, the 20 minutes down the five, everything's canceled per CSAC. So where were you when you got the news, and how,
Well,
like, talk us through that?
I had to pull out of the fight. It was one of the first times and one of the hardest things it was the first time I've ever done that. And it was like the freaking hardest thing I've ever done. It's weird because it's really not that big of a deal, man. Like, it is a big deal. It is a big deal because pulling out of fights are freaking. A lot of people fake pulling out, say they're injured just because they're nervous or they don't feel ready and all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of that stuff out there, and and um and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much because I see it. I see it in gyms that I've been in. You know what I mean? I see it all around me. Fighters that say there's something and they're not. You know what I mean? Gangsters that say there's something and they're not. You know what I mean? Like, don't pretend to be. You can hang out with me, but don't pretend to be. You know what I mean? You can hang out with fighters. You can be a commentator. You don't have to freaking fight, bro. Like, no one's forcing you to fight, but don't pretend to be. You know what I mean? Because it drives me crazy. So a lot of guys like that pull out of fights. Like, I'll fight anybody, man. I'm in 135. That's what I signed up to fight. I signed up to be the best. If you're the best, I mean, you go. What are you signing up for? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, what if you don't want to be the best? Then why are you fighting? But that's just my mindset. I know not everybody's like me, so it's okay. But pulling out of fights is lame, and so um, I had to pull out of this fight. I think I had COVID, to be honest with you. This was so March 13th was the fight. I've had to pull out like I think like almost a month before the fight. I think it was 3 weeks to a month before. I tried to go as long as I could. First off, like the week of the like a week the week I got the contract, I ended up getting a split eyebrow. So one, I couldn't spar because I ended up having to get. I think we dermabonded. I don't even think I stitched it, but we dermabonded it. But we went through a whole thing. Me and the mystery man, we went through a freaking whole bunch of stuff. He even glued it like inside. It still got a nice little. Anyways, I shouldn't be showing you my scars, but so I ended up having that, but that wasn't gonna pull me out of the fight. I was like, okay, I can't spar. I can drill. I can't really do too much. I still did strength and conditioning, right? Um, then all of a sudden, like as I was doing that, oh, I got sick. I got sick. Not. I don't think it was COVID just yet, but I got sick, and I would take a day off. I feel better. I'd come back. I'd get sick. Take a day off, and I would just keep coming. Like you know. And so um, then I started working out. Every time when I came back, I would still do strength and conditioning, and I was out because I knew that was the only thing I can do. So I was going hard on strength and conditioning. I was gonna be a savage. So we have these things called an ISO machine where it's like it's not weights, it's like not resistance.
Like tension,
Huh?
tension strength, like
It's
tension.
like tension, yeah. Like you pull up, and it's like, and like the thing is, the faster the harder you pull, the faster it's gonna go. But it's all about your maximum effort. So you just gotta. But the thing is, like you're pushing it. The harder you push it, the faster it goes. But you're pushing it at a high pace, so you get tired. You know what I mean? You're going your max, and so it's one of those. It was one of those days I was hitting that, and all of a sudden I hit this huge shock in my head. Boom! I had a exertion headache. Okay, and bro, when I tell you, man, that hurts, bro. Like my whole head just immediately shocked. I fell to the ground, started sweating like just bad sweat. Like it hurt, man. And and the thing is, it doesn't go away like that day. Like it'll take you like a little bit to cool down, and then But my coaches told me, don't do it, don't train, go home. I kept getting them every time I came back for practice for like almost like 2 weeks. Like I kept getting them, and I kept getting sick. And then one day, like I just had this really really bad fever, and that's when I think I had COVID. I think I had COVID the whole freaking time, to be honest with you.
Oh.
And then like freaking, but then I would have infected everybody, so maybe they didn't have COVID. But I was sick. I was just bad. But the exertion headaches were what was concerning my coach. So my coach was like, you know what, man? Like I don't know what it is. Um, it could be because you're sick. It could be because you're pushing. It could be because you're not breathing. It could be a lot of things. But I don't want you to fight knowing that your head is messed up. You know. And he's like, honestly, like you got your cut, you got your exertions, you keep getting sick, all this stuff. I think God is telling you not to fight. And I was like, I'm gonna fight, coach. And he was like, you're not gonna fight. Me, Elon came, and then Coach Coop came, all three of them, and Mystery Man came, and he was like, yeah, you shouldn't fight. And that wasn't it. We didn't fight.
Damn.
So yeah, it sucked, man. I was pissed, bro. I was pissed because I was like, I gotta let this guy know that I can't fight. Like I have to pull out of this fight, even though it's just an ego thing. Because Khabib had to pull out a fight a couple times, and you're gonna call him a lame, a scared guy. And was he scared? Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe Tony Ferguson's a scary guy, but no, I don't think he's scared. And I wasn't scared. It's just I was sick, but still, like, shit sucked. But then COVID happened anyways, and the card didn't happen. So it was just like, I guess it was meant to be. So it's all good.
So I guess in terms of and it's funny because Paul Perez says I was sitting next to Lily's crowd at Lights Out, and their cheers changed from "Get him, Ryan" to "Come on, Ryan." That was no doubt it was a victory for Morales. So
That's right, Paul.
there you go. And
That's
again, the
right.
main event with Paul Perez on both YouTube and Instagram. You
I'm
definitely want to
following
check those out.
both. I don't have my phone.
Yes, exactly. And Robert Simonson says the UFC needs to call you now, 100%. And let's get them shoe vids. So, just saying, there you go. And Tilt Rock is very kind, very in depth, a great interview, always hard hitting and inquisitive talking points on this channel. Thank you, Tilt Rock. But yeah, and Paul Perez says, Greyhound stories, I have some. So maybe I'll have you on here, good sir. I'm just saying. But okay, so obviously a year, from fight to where we are now, literally a year and change. So the next, if you're playing matchmaker for yourself, where do you step into the cage next, and why?
If it's what I want, if it was me, not matchmaker, if I was playing like the matchmaker, like God, you know what I mean? Like if it was all perfect, right? Like I would love to be on the Ultimate Fighter, the next season of the Ultimate Fighter. Um, but if not, then I want to fight for Lights Out. I want to fight. I want to defend my belt. And I'll do it against Lily. You know, and it makes sense. We had the rematch, so let's just finish what we need to do. And then after we scrap, um, I wanna call out the LFA champ, whoever that is at the time. Tell them to come down to lights out. Let's scrap. And after I call out the LFA champ, I want to call out the Titan champ. Tell them to come through. Don't worry, I'll pay for their flights if they live out of the state. I'll pay for it out of my purse. You know what I mean? And just take them all out. You know, like if no one wants to fight, if I can't go fight in their promotions, then they can come to mine. You know what I mean? They can come and try and take my belt. You know, like I'll put my belt on the line. You don't have to put yours. Just know that I beat you. That's it. That's all I need to know. I don't want their belt. I have my own belt. You know what I mean? It's sitting nice and shiny in Rock, LA. You know, the best. You know, the best. What is it? What exactly? They do so much stuff over there. I don't even know robotics. Like, what do they? They have robots and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Like,
mean,
I don't even know
hydration
how to explain what they do.
therapy,
I just know they fix people.
stem cells. I mean, shout out to Rock LA
Yeah.
because they're the real MVPs. I mean, literally the reason why a lot of your favorite fighters
Are
are
still
kept
fighting.
together is because of Rock LA, right?
Yeah. Facts.
Absolutely. And oh, Jesus, Robert Simmons said he says he's got to go, but he'll be at Blackout Monday at 3. So bring your kicks, my man. So and good shit. Thank you, good sir. But before we let you go, bro, in when you're not training, what are your favorite things to do? Because obviously you're not watching a lot of TV, not movies or anything like that. So is there like music that you're listening to, or just like being able to chill and know that you've earned the work? Like what does a warrior do in the downtime?
Um, when I'm not training or doing privates, okay, and if I don't have my daughters, right? Because if I'm with my daughters, and my daughters, um, if I don't have anything, if I can't figure anything out, I'm gonna be doing DoorDash, right? And I like to listen to music, and I like to listen to all the new stuff and the old stuff because there's so much old stuff I haven't heard, and there's so much new stuff I haven't heard. So I'll listen to both. Um, and I listen to full albums. I like critique albums and stuff like that. Or I'll listen like if like I'm weird, man. Some days I'm like I want to learn how to fix cars, so then I'll just go on YouTube and listen to like someone fix my car and just kind of hear names of parts and stuff like that. That's when I'm driving. Um, if not, man, I don't know. I have been collecting shoes. I've been stacking up on shoes to sell, to resell. So I have a couple bangers. It's kind of fun chasing them because I don't buy bots and I'm not like super involved in it. But if I see a shoe that I think is cool and I think is gonna like potentially resell for a lot of like not a lot, but like, I'm gonna get like a thing like. And the thing is like a lot of my shoes I buy, I'm not buying them to resell them like tomorrow. They're not like a quick flip. I'm like buying shoes like okay that's kind of cool. I'm gonna sell that thing in like 5 years and see how much it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like so like I got like a couple of them. I got a couple of them. Like I got like this pair of LeBrons that came out the day after they won the championship. Exclusive drop to like where they're not dude. I can't even find them in some apps. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. So I got a pair of the undefeated Kobe's where they're one of them is the he was drafted 14th or
Which one?
was it like Kobe? Do you know?
The last
Co-
championship?
no. Kobe. What he was drafted? What number? Was it like 12 or
Oh
14?
no, he was 8. He was actually 8,
No,
wasn't
his
he?
draft number. His draft number when he got drafted. Like when he got. You know how like when they're drafting on draft day they pick up players.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. So it was. I want to say it was 97, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The year, yeah, because I was. I want to say I was in middle school because I remember that was when the Lakers were still playing at the Forum. That was the second to last season that they played at the Forum, and I was actually at Persia Middle School right there in Inglewood, so they were still there. So I want to say it was like 97, 98, something like that.
When he got drafted into the NBA.
Yeah, that was because he went to North Carolina, and then they did some swap and whatever, and he came to LA.
Right,
Something
exactly.
like
So exactly, yeah. He got drafted by I thought
Charlotte
right,
Hornets.
North Carolina, and then they did the swap, right? So that's exactly. So the teams that passed on him are one Kobe. So the Kobe is like all like it's like a what the. So it's like a like piece of this, like it's all different colors, okay? And each color is to represent the teams that passed on him.
What?
Right, so it's called the what the, and then the other one is called the what ifs, and it's the color of Charlotte, and it's Kobe's. Yeah, it's a cool pack, and so I got that I'm waiting that I'm gonna sit on for some time, but I think it'll be worth some money.
Fuck, I almost want to put that in the Google machine and look at this. Yeah, man,
cool, dude.
That
the
seems
what
pretty
ifs
dope.
and what the Kobe's. Yeah,
That's pretty sick. So what is the coolest shoe that you have in your collection thus far?
like I mean I think those are pretty freaking cool.
I think so too.
Those are pretty freaking cool. I'm not. Yeah, out of like my resale shoes, those are probably the best ones. Out of my shoes, like the ones that I actually wear, because I haven't bought a pair of shoes for myself in a minute, ever since I got out the UFC. I don't think I need to. I have like 30 pairs, and like I have a color for whatever the heck I need, like, and I have bangers. So like every shoe that I have is like kind of like every shoe I've kind of wanted. But now I see shoes, I'm like, oh, that one looks kind of cool, you know. But my favorite shoe is the Bread One. That's the Air Jordan 1, black and red. It's like they call it the band, because I forgot. I'm not good with years. I'm not, you know what I mean. But I know when it dropped, I think because it had too much black in it or something. It didn't reach the NBA guidelines or whatever, and so he wasn't allowed to wear it. And they fined him every game he wore them. Mm-hmm. And so they were called the bands. And so those I think for the fact that like they told him not to do it and he did it. You know, the fact that red's my favorite color. It reminds me of like, you know, like just like the devil. You know what I mean? Like it's just bad. Yeah, it's just bad, bro. And then I have it's the 2016 is the year that the shoe, because every time they retro a shoe, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like the quality or like the, you know, like they had one of, like I forgot, I think it's 2011. They had a bread that had the X for the band on it.
Yeah.
You know, there was like an X on the back of the shoe. So like they have like little things, but like the quality of that shoe of the 2016 bread is probably the best. Like seriously, like, and I have that one, so I'm happy about it. Yeah, that's probably like my best shoe. Like if I have a royal one and it's the same quality as the bread, but I think the bread is better than the royal one. The royal one is blue. It's like the opposite. There's like a royal blue and then there's the red one, and I got both.
That's not bad. That's not a bad piece to have in your collection. Fuck no.
I don't know. I got the Space Jams too.
Oh, you got the fucking Space Jams? What the fuck?
I have both Space Jams. I have Space Jam 9s and Space Jam 11s. You know, Space Jam 9s are when Jordan, remember when Bugs Bunny and Daffy had to go inside to go get his shoe? Those were the 9s. I got those.
Oh man, that's kind of sick. I mean, I'm not a huge sneakerhead, but like the Jordan Retro 3 Cement Reds, actually the Cement Grays, so those are my favorite. And then the fucking Space Jams, like
the 3s or the 4s, you know?
Retro 3s. Yeah,
there's a pair of 3s that is coming out, and you know what's crazy? Most 3s are made with great quality. The tumble leather with 3s. Yeah, that's why I like them. But there's a 3 that's coming out. It's navy blue.
Really?
I'll send it to you on Instagram.
All right. All right.
Yeah, it would look
Now,
good on what you're wearing right now. It would look really good.
let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully I've made enough in the stock market this
Hey,
COVID
is
time.
that a blue sweater or is that black?
This is gray, which there's a logo that I created right in the back, but I don't. I'm still working out the trademark, so
Okay,
I've
okay.
keeping it like kind of close to the vest and whatever. But yeah, there's this one is actually my own. This is a
Oh,
prototype, so
oh
yeah,
shit.
man. I'm just trying to make it happen, Captain. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
But obviously, there have been a lot of people that have helped you make it happen, so to speak. So I want you, the current lights out bantamweight champion, to get some shout outs out of the way.
Ooh, man. Let's see. Let's shout out Onward Athletics. Keep my hands, my mitts, my hand grenades, safe. Best boxing gear in the game, hands down for the price for sure. You know what I mean? If you're not buying winnings or anything like that, and even at that, man, I feel like Onward gloves are better than winnings. Um, yeah, Onward is where you want to go, man. Really good sparring. They have gloves for sparring. They have gloves for bag. They have gloves for freaking mitts, and they have mitts. So they make really good, freaking good mitts. So shout out to them. Um, Shout out to Rock LA. We've been talking about Rock LA family. Especially when Rock AV was rolling. You know what I mean? They would take care of me after every fight. Did more than take care of me, man. More than take care of me. I remember I was eating steak after my weigh, and they're like you need to eat steak. You know what I mean? No junk. And I was getting a bomb IV. I have my own mix over there, so it's all good, man. Shout out to Rock LA, Michelle. I miss seeing them. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? I got a athletic CBD. Where are we at? Boom.
Hey, there we go.
Athletic CBD. Been with me, for a good chunk of my career right now. My whole lights out career, they've been with me. So, shout out to those guys. I have one of the best. They have this new CBD lotion that's bomb, man. Because I'm not really into the oils. I don't like how oil feels. Like I hate sweet sweat. I hate that thick feeling. So lotion works a lot better for me because then I can kind of massage it in there and stuff like that. So I like that stuff, man. Athletic CBD, fire. I hate when I don't have my card with my sponsors that I can shout out. Shout out to Super Rare Fight Shop, my boy Dylan. Though always coming through, hooking me up with all the new stuff. They got some new shin guards coming out. Not shin guards, tie pads. That's what I saw. They're coming out with some tie pads. I want to check those out. Damage Control mouth guard. Shout out to them. Shout out to
Iridium.
Oh, Black House, Carlson Gracie, South Bay. Shout out to the teams. You know what I mean? Shout out to Synergistic Health, Coach Ron, and Rewire Performance, Coach Coop. I think I could be good right there.
Iridium.
But no, I'm not managed by Iridium anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, Black House Management, baby.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yes.
Let's go. Yeah, man. I mean, shout out to everybody, dude. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to my team, my team. Those guys have been they've been grinding. You know what I mean? Every single freaking day they grind. Um, they show up. We beat the crap out of each other. Some days you're the hammer. Some days you're the nail. But you show up every single freaking day. You know what I mean? And those guys do that, and they help me out. I help them, and Black House is about to be even better than before. You guys it's crazy, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for what ugh, it's just patience. You know what I mean? That's just the biggest thing. It's just understanding patience and time, and really realizing that it's not that much time. Like it's been like a year that you could be. I mean, I haven't been sleeping. I've been working. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting. I'm just like, come on, let's go. Give me an opportunity, any opportunity. Let's go. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm thinking maybe if I don't think about it today, it'll come. No, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. So it's just like it's not that long of a time. I'm ready now. So whenever it comes, I'll be ready. You know, period.
I love it. I love it. Now, for folks that want to see the life and times of the Belizean warrior, and even echo the sentiments to whatever matchmakers there are, right? Where can they find you on social media?
Warrior 135 UFC. Pretty much on all of them. I don't go on Twitter too much. I need to. I will as soon as I can get back into it because I forgot the password. And I lost the email, but I'll figure it out one day, or I'll just start a new one. We'll see. But Warrior 135 UFC, and then I'm starting in OnlyFans.
Ooh, hey.
Yeah, not like that, you sicko.
Oh,
hey, you better support me if I did, anyways. But I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. I'm working on it and building content right now. But it's gonna be technique. You know what I mean? It's gonna be, you can hop on there and it's gonna be technique. That's what it's gonna be based around. But I am also gonna post. It's gonna be like my social media, man. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome. I feel like there's a lot of fighters. There's a lot of coaches out there that don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't think you can really tell someone how to do something if you don't do it yourself. Or like battle tested it yourself, you know what I mean? Especially for MMA. MMA is a little bit different. MMA is something that you have to do, I feel. You know what I mean? You have to have had a little bit of experience in everything. It's different. It's not the same as any other sport, And so it's like I don't think there's a legitimate MMA coach out there teaching MMA stuff. And so the name right now is Only Hands. But it's not up. It's active. The name is already saved and stuff like that. But I might switch that up because I don't know. It can't be Only Hands because I want to do MMA on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll be cool because I want to be a little bit more uncensored on that too, a little bit. Whereas on Instagram, I kind of want to keep it a little bit censored for like the younger crowd. You know what I mean? Like because I do know that kids are watching and like the future MMA fighters are watching and like I'm trying to inspire them too. I want them to go out there and kill it. I want to set records that seem impossible to beat. And I want kids to see those records and be like, I'm about to smoke that record. You know what I mean? Or I want to beat that record. Like that's what the hell I want to inspire the next generation to be better, and then just continue. Everybody will just continue to inspire each other. And who sees where the world will go from there? The world of MMA at least, and then we'll see what happens after MMA.
I love it, man. Continuing to inspire others. I love it, man. I really appreciate you, dude. I miss you. We went from seeing each other like at the very least once a month for the last like 4 years. So like, I haven't seen you in like damn near a year. So
Yeah.
miss you. Love to the family, and I can't wait to. It's safe again, so we can resume all the cool shit that we were up to doing.
Right. It's facts, man. Miss you too, big dog.
Yeah, man. But this has been According to Woods with the reigning, defending, lights out, extreme fighting, bantamweight champion, the Belizean warrior, Albert Morales. And if you haven't already done so, I warmly encourage you to subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on both Facebook and YouTube. Albert, you're subscribed, right?
I am now.
Damn right. Hey, and just don't take our word for it. Here's our mutual friend, Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe